And it's been almost a month, T-Cat,
It
dude. Where
it
you
feels
been,
like
brother?
has it been a month? Because it feels like it.
3 weeks probably. I think 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I did some traveling for work. I was out of town, and we planned on recording this episode while I was gone, but the Wi-Fi in my hotel was just so janky. I couldn't even do meetings and stuff that I was actually needing to do, much less do the stuff that just comes for fun. So,
You figure they
but we're
put you
back.
somewhere nicer than a Red Roof Inn, huh?
It's about the bottom line.
It
So,
is true. You're a salesman. It's true.
you, you
You can
got to
sleep in your
go to
car
the
if you have to.
Yeah, you got to go to the basically the cheapest place that the company will allow you to go. Or, I mean, actually, vice versa. You want to go to the most expensive place they'll allow you to go, which is usually the
Yeah.
cheapest place.
Right,
So,
right. You're pretty much tapping out all of your resources there.
yeah, and I was in the big town of Birmingham. So,
Yeah, not a lot of
yeah,
choices.
yeah, there wasn't a whole lot going on. But,
Well, sounds good, man. Glad to have you back. Glad to be back. And
yeah,
let's get this rolling.
let's see what this wheel has to in store for us this week. Accepted.
Oh, man. Oh, Justin Long.
Justin Long, man, I thought he was going to be a big star. I did when he first got out. I thought he was pretty funny. I thought he was going to end up being a big comedian star, and I think he's kind of fell off since. I mean, you don't
I
see him in much anymore.
I think that, he did I remember him a lot from the movie Jeepers Creepers.
Right,
That and then a Dodgeball. He's in Dodgeball.
dodgeball, but he never
And then
really
this
got.
movie.
Yeah, he never really got like marquee movies after
No.
that. I think he did that weird walrus movie with Kevin
That's where he I
Smith.
was fixing to say Tusk was a
Yeah,
wild movie, dude. And
um,
then he just disappeared. Maybe he really did turn into the walrus.
I've
Maybe
never
that's why
seen
we
that
haven't
movie.
seen.
So,
Oh,
and
you won't
I'm a
forget it.
and I'm a Kevin Smith fan, but
Oh,
really the last movie I watched of his was Red State, which is really good.
oh yeah, that is a good
And then,
movie.
and then like the Clerks follow-ups I haven't watched. He's got another
I
one coming out
think
soon.
in that movie Tusk, the one with Justin Long, I think the bad guy is played by Gary Oldman, and it's a good movie. It's just, dude, it's twisted, and it's like a human centipede.
I
Have you ever
gotcha.
seen Human Centipede?
I have not. I steered away
Well,
from that one. So
it's same kind of deal to me. I kind of put those in the same category. But hey, we're talking about accepted today.
accepted now. 2006, PG-13, right? So it's about an hour and 33 minutes. We always talk about having a good hour and 30-minute movie. So why don't we go check that bad boy out and come back and we can talk about it.
Yo, it's Josh and T-Cat. Best believe that. Reeling in the truth. Stacking on the film stack. Popcorn popping. Critics keep talking. On this podcast, ain't no time for stalking. Real fine by me, we keeping it free. Josh and T-Cat, the hosts you wanna see. Movie reviews, jokes that ain't new. Keep it locked in, cause we know what to do. Lights, camera, action, movie made attraction. Critics we ain't, but we got that passion. Breaking down the scenes, funny like memes. Josh and T-Cat, man, living the dream.
And we're
That,
back.
you know, um, I'm a fan of Fat Jonah Hill. I just,
Yeah, oh yeah.
I am.
I
And I,
argued with Christy for 30 minutes that this movie come after Superbad, and boy, was I wrong. Superbad come out right after this movie.
yeah, he was, he was super. I don't know if it's the way they shot him in this movie or if personally he was big in this movie,
I
like
think they
really
had the
round.
camera down low. They had the camera at a low angle.
He
They
felt
didn't do him
really
no
old.
favors. Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't do him no favors. He like the Kool-Aid man.
If they were recording Superbad around the same time they recorded this one, they look like two different people.
They really do. The face and everything looks different.
Yeah.
The hair, all that. Yeah, he can change his look more than anybody I've ever seen. He's like a
Yeah.
chameleon.
Yeah. Now you wouldn't even think the guy
He's
accepted
my
is
size now.
yeah, is the same guy that he is today. So looks like it cost 23 million to make and grossed 38 million in theaters. That's a pretty
Not
good
bad
chunk of change. Made
for
their
a
money back.
comedy film.
Made their money back plus about half of what they spent. So I think once it went to DVD, this was the time the DVDs were still a thing. I think it really became popular. Um,
My brother loved this movie when I was in high school.
I really like it too. It's not if I see it on, I'll watch it. As a matter of fact, I think I put it on our list because I do think it's funny. Um,
I think that Blake Lively is probably one of her first bigger movies
yeah,
too.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, she is
She's kind
she's
of fell
really
off too, talking about people falling off.
yeah. She had some good movies and stuff too, but I think she kind of focused on
She's got
her family
brand.
at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
she's in a lot of scandal right now for that last movie
yeah,
she made. Yeah, I don't even know
yeah,
nothing about that, but I just was thinking about, man, it's just wild to see. Like what's cool about this thing is like a lot of times, it's 20, this movie came out 20 years ago. So like
yes,
you're seeing people like young, they're like either really big stars now or they're just gone. Like, like
yeah,
they may have, so that's kind of cool to kind of look back and like, see, I think.
yeah. I mean, she definitely did some big movies and has done well for herself. What was that?
Well,
There's
she married
one
Ryan
shark.
Reynolds.
Yeah, that one shark movie where she's like caught
Yeah.
on the buoy and stuff. That one was
Yeah.
pretty good. Um,
There's a movie
I,
with her and Anna Kendrick called A Simple Favor. They just made a sequel to that's pretty good.
yeah, I've seen those ads lately, and
Hmm.
the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, isn't she in those movies? My wife really
I'm
loves
not
those.
sure. I think
Um,
so. I think
but
so.
yeah, so just some interesting facts. They bleeped out one of the F words just so they can get a PG-13 rating because you can have one, you can't have two.
One.
Um,
You get
yeah,
one. Make it count.
um, a lot of these, um, a lot of this movie was improvised. But you see Justin Long and Jonah Hill, you think they probably improvised quite a bit, especially Justin
Yeah.
Long. I feel like he does that quite a lot.
And I figured
Uh,
that other guy, the crazy one that always wears this sweatband that
oh
is
yeah,
always I bet he improved a lot of stuff too. I
yeah.
can't think of that guy's name, so excuse me for that, whoever you are. But he was a good, just a wild addition to the cast.
I couldn't find a whole lot of interesting facts. IMDb didn't have a whole lot of trivia on it.
Yeah.
Um, Glenn's parents were actually his real parents. Um,
The
um,
scream, Jonah Hill's scream in that scene was actually the redheaded girl that was in the movie. Like whenever he screams real loud and it cuts
yeah,
off and like everybody looks at him.
yeah. I didn't have a whole lot to go by. I do
He talks
remember
about the prison shank with the toothbrush. He said, is I going to file this toothbrush down to make a prison shank? That's crazy. So funny, man.
this movie reminds me a lot of um, Van Wilder. The college
Hmm.
settings, the
That
parties, and stuff like
style.
that. That style
Yeah.
movie, um, with a little bit of the different comedies of that era. Kind of a
Was this a Judd Apatow movie?
I didn't see that on there.
It
Um,
seems like something he might have done, like
he
his
might have
kind of
done.
style. I don't think I don't know. I didn't see him, but he's attached to a lot of stuff sometimes and we don't know it
But
around this time period.
before we get real heavy into this, uh, Fine by Me and subsequently Real Fine by Me here has a partnership with Dubby Energy Drinks. So I want to give them a quick shout out. Just like Bartleby and his friends in Accepted, sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands and create your own path. Whether you're hitting the books, gearing up for a big project, or just need a boost of clean energy to power through your day, Dubby has got you covered. With flavors like Dragonade, Dubby Punch, and Tropical Blast, there's a flavor to keep you focused and energized as you break the rules and make things happen. No crash, just sustained energy to help you get through anything, whether you're pulling all-nighters for school or tackling a new project like a true innovator. Head over to w.gg, use the code Find by Me, all one word, to get a 10% off your order. Fuel your day, take your own path, just like Bartleby did with Southampton Institute of College. in the movie
Woo.
Accepted. Got
Nice.
my got
W.GG.
W.GG.
There it is, folks. All right. So back to shit, South Harmon Institute of Technology.
The shit
The
sandwiches.
dude that they had play Justin Long's the antagonist, the kind
Yeah.
of tool bag character, plays that role to a T. That guy, anytime you see that guy in a movie, you know he's going to play that guy.
Super preppy frat boy, right? Like
Yeah, yes.
we're we're close to Western Kentucky and they've got frats up there and some of them are like real country, but this one is like high he plays a
Oh,
high
yeah.
end super preppy frat boy that
Yeah.
feels like he's owed everything for nothing, right?
Yeah, just when you think of a white guy you like to hate, he's that guy.
For sure.
The stereotypical better than everybody thinks his shit don't stink, you know. So yeah, they picked, and he's unrelenting on trying to like get to the bottom of this South Harmon Institute of Technology. Like, I've never ever once in my life been that interested in ruining somebody else's day, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And the dean for Southampton College that's trying to get him to do it, he plays his part really well too. It's a very
Lewis
small part.
Black. Oh,
No,
yeah,
the
the other
other the
one.
real college, yeah. Lewis
Yes, yeah,
Black
yeah,
does do a good job in this movie.
yeah. Yeah,
He's
he's
really funny.
hilarious.
So you look at a movie on the surface like this, it's supposed to be just for laughs, but I do think they have a kind of a social commentary of how the educational system in America works and
Yeah.
how college is kind of underserving a certain demographic of people. And
Yes.
my oldest son is graduating here in 2 weeks, and we've been going through this process because he's not the preppy frat boy type. He's not really a jock. He's not hands on. So
Just
finding
a
a
normal
college,
person.
yeah, you know finding a college that fits him and will cater to what he wants to do and what his aspirations are is actually a lot harder than you would think. And I think this movie kind of points that out is that these kids go to the wayside when it comes to colleges. Also, I've been looking at prices of these colleges for months now. I would write a check for $10,000 for the first year for for a school right now too. That's super cheap, uh,
Man,
dirt
that's
cheap.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was
And
20
dude,
years ago. They thought that was the
right.
right price to put was 10 grand a year. So
Yeah. It's which I think back then was probably on the high end. You know, that was probably on the high end for even back then.
yeah,
I don't know. That was about the time I was going to college, and that's probably about right. It's crazy and like you said, it does kind of because I wasn't your prototypical college. Like I didn't like
yeah,
I'm not a person like I'm really good as far as like I can bring in knowledge and like learn stuff, but it has to be something I'm interested in. And I'm terrible at taking tests. I have terrible test anxiety. So,
yeah,
I could never translate that to a per se test, a standardized test. So, like you said, that's all they had to go by us at these institutions. So
yeah,
kids do get thrown to the wayside, you know?
yeah. And I enjoy how it's kind of inspirational, especially this movie for kids that are in that position about creating your own path. There's a wealth of opportunities in this world. You don't have to do what the world tells you to. It's good for some
Right.
people, and I'm sending my son to college to figure that out, but you don't necessarily have to go to college to be
I think
successful.
I think I've learned the older I get, some of that stuff just checking off boxes, you know. It ain't even about because you're just checking off the boxes to show people that you can be committed. It ain't even about what you're going to do necessarily,
For sure.
a lot of times. So I think that, like you said, if you can get and find something that you love. Also, it shows that the not necessarily standard cool guy gets the chick.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
nice guy gets the chick. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, and I think when you get to college, that's when that kind of flips in real life
Yeah.
too, right? Like um, the cool. cool guys in high school seem to get all the girls. When you get to college, and it kind of changes for everybody. You're meeting new people that
Right.
you don't have
Building some
association with.
confidence.
You build
Build
some
some confidence.
confidence. These people here don't know you. You can be whoever you want to
Yeah,
be.
everybody's new. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's just thrown in together. Like it's everybody's first day all over again. So you don't have those cliques and all that animosity and different things that are just there from the rip. That it is because we both know. I had a good time in high school. I did, and I know that. But none of that stuff has mattered really in my adult life. Like I still have
yeah,
some relationships with my friends and stuff that I've had since back then, but that's really it. None of that other stuff mattered.
yeah.
So, but yeah.
Um, so I think when you look at this movie, one thing I think everybody in the world remembers is Jonah Hill standing in a hot dog costume outside of there at trying to get people in his fraternity going, ask me about my
I'm a
wiener.
winner.
That I think that's probably the one thing that everybody remembers, and I'm sure that they remember it from the trailers because I don't think there was a whole lot of people who went and watched this movie. Um, 38 million was not a whole lot, right?
No.
When it comes to box office draw, even in 2006. Actually, in 2006, I think more people were probably going to the movies than anything. You're talking start of
Oh yeah,
Marvel and
dude.
everything. So,
Batman, dude,
yeah,
Batman, The Dark Knight. I mean, it
yeah,
was crazy this time. I mean, dude, movies were so much fun then. Like that was
yeah,
right there on that teeter of going to everything at home. Like it
yeah.
was like theaters were actually like really nice inside, and you know, now they're like you're worried if you're going to go in there and catch some kind of infection.
I really think Justin Long's performance in this movie carries it quite a bit. His comedic performance, it's he's really good, and that's why I was so surprised that he hasn't became a comedic performer since then,
Yeah.
like a big marquee Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler type, carry a comedic movie guy.
I
Uh,
I think that I remember him kind of wanting to go more towards like drama though, like
yeah,
see after Accepted the movies he did were uh a movie called he did Live Free or Die Hard with Bruce Willis. He was in that movie with him
yeah, I forgot about that.
like right after he did the movie Waiting 1 year before Accepted, and then he just did a bunch of like independent kind of films like
No, he did Zach and Mira, uh,
Make a Porno.
Mega Porno.
Yeah, he did that. Alvin and the Chipmunks. He's in all those as a voice actor.
Isn't he one of the Chipmunks?
Yeah, he Simon.
Yeah,
And then the rest of these movies are just pretty much there's Jay and
and
Silent Bob reboot, but the rest are like independent films.
yeah, I think he does a lot of stuff with Kevin Smith since he did that Tusk movie.
Yeah,
And I actually think Kevin Smith did the Zack and Mira movie too. So,
I think so.
um,
I think you're right.
so I think he's tied into that end of the stuff. And I really like Kevin Smith. We could talk about that later, but
The
some of
top
his movie,
question on Google, I typed in Justin Long. What ethnicity is Justin Long? White. Looks pretty
seems like
white to me.
he seemed like a white
Caucasian.
guy to me. Yeah.
Like a white
So,
guy. It's
and
funny.
we
Google.
discussed earlier, Blake. This is one of Blake Lively's first big movie roles.
Her character name is Rory in this
Rory,
movie.
yeah, and
Yeah, it's odd.
she does a really good job in this movie as
Yeah.
well. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything that I was like, it wasn't bad, but
2006 Blake Lively was primo.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. Good movie,
So,
man. Good movie.
and
So Bartleby's dad
yeah,
is on his ass. He's like the typical hard-nosed dad, don't cut Bartleby any slack ever. Like he's really sweet to his little sister. Little sister would get away with murder. And it's like, every big brother, if you're a big brother, you understand this situation. So Bartleby is scared to death of his dad. So this elaborate scheme, he's a slacker. Well, not really a slacker, but he's a procrastinator. And like you said, we kind of talk about he kind of marches to the beat of his own drum. So he doesn't get accepted into college after he's done told his parents that he has because his dad's like, proud of him. So
Right.
he makes the South Harmon Institute of Technology and goes through, really shows a bunch of entrepreneurial skills and, leadership qualities. That's what we, kind of really kind of gets overshadowed. I think the kind of the comedy overshadows here is how um and does what's what I'm looking for. Um just how I guess how good he is at just taking charge and making things happen. But
Yeah.
it's almost like he always has to be under the gun before he'll do
To get
anything.
stuff done. Yeah.
Golly, dude, because even like whenever they get the college going and it's going good, they have to have Parents' Day. And it's chaos, dude. Like I remember watching this the first time just on the tension, the anxiety that was building about this Parents' Day and like his dad coming, like, oh my, dude, they're going to be busted for sure. Oh, this is it. This is the end of the movie. But then whenever he does shine, he shines, man. But it's always, dude, just by the tip, the very
Yeah.
tip,
Do you know people
you
like that in
know,
real life?
myself.
You're that way where you have to have pressure to
Yeah.
get something done.
A lot of times I've gotten better just because I've realized in getting older that it causes a lot of unneeded stress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I kind of can be a little bit the other way and go at something too hard right away,
Yeah.
and so it's just about
That's more
finding
me.
balance. But yeah, oh yeah, I can see that. You don't procrastinate at all.
Mm-mm. I
Yeah.
don't.
Right. So I've been trying to get better about that, but yeah, I used to be really bad about that, and it I finally realized that was causing a lot of anxiety naturally,
And that's why I don't do it, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that position where I'm
Oh
worried about
man.
trying to get something done.
Because I felt like how he felt in that movie. He's like, "Oh, dude," like he said his computer. He's like, "Man, I got to make up a lie like now." You know what I mean? And then you turn
It's
into a liar. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's just not good because you're always trying to cover your ass all the time. That's all you're doing. That's all he's doing. The whole movie's covering his ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I
Yeah, it's
did.
so good, man.
I did find. We have this segment where at the end we do the Google reviews, which we're about to get into.
Right.
I actually found it a hard time finding somebody who didn't like this movie.
It's a
I try
solid
to
movie.
I try to find both ends of the spectrum. I usually go to Google reviews and look, and you can filter 5 stars, 1 stars. No 1 star reviews, no 2 star reviews. They were all 3 through 5. Um, so I ended up going over to Rotten Tomato to actually find a
Oh,
half
somebody
star,
said
a
something, a
half star
critique.
rooster, and it wasn't bad. So I'm gonna share that with you right now. Got to find this guy. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try. Uh, Said, I love this movie. Very refreshing. I don't care about uh, IMDb, but when I looked at the Google reviews, I realized this should be watched. Insane. Each and every joke, and as a college student, this was very cute. They might soon become the very thing that they wanted to destroy, but love how funny and unrealistic some things were yet kept you motivated. I mean, Marvel is unrealistic, but we are captured by it. Anyway, a great watch with some great actors. 5 stars.
Solid review. That's kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
So on the other end of the spectrum, terrible written characters. Story execution was subpar. Half, half a star.
Jeez, it's
Yeah,
hateful.
that was the lowest one I could find, and it was short and sweet, man. I mean, if we're critiquing this, the characters aren't really that well developed. It's not
They're not
supposed to be.
supposed to be. It's a
Yeah.
comedy movie.
And how are
Yeah.
you supposed to execute this story any better way than they did? I mean,
And to also hit on that before we get into our reviews, you made a good point there. In the past five, maybe I won't say 10 years, maybe close to 10 years, because how time will play tricks on you.
yeah,
Nobody makes just silly comedy movies anymore. They don't
no,
have to have they don't have to have some elaborate plot or these crazy complex characters and relationships. Just make a funny movie. Like this movie, Dodgeball, all those
yeah,
Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller movies through the early 2000s.
yeah. Wedding Crashers,
And
Old
then
School, stuff like that.
yes, dude, just the Adam Sandler movies, all of his movies are love stories, but I
Yeah.
mean, they're still they're light watching. You don't have to like say, "Oh man," I've never once wanted to watch a comedy movie and have to rewind it to hear what somebody said. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that's the way
Yeah.
they are now. Like, like you have to like it's almost like they've turned into like all like dramedies. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some kind of like murder or some kind of crime
Yeah.
going on or something.
I
I don't
did see
know.
there's a a new, I guess it's going to be a sequel, the way they kind of framed it, of Naked Gun, which I was kind of
Yes.
super excited about.
Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
good. Liam
if it's done,
Neeson?
yeah, if it's done really well, it ought to be pretty good. So,
Yeah.
well, what about
Well,
Accepted, Josh? What do you think
you said on
about
Google
it?
review you said on Google review that there hadn't been a review with 0 stars, 1 star, or 2 stars.
Correct.
I'm gonna give it its first 2 star, but it's gonna be a 2.9, 2.9, just because I think it's a little bit above middle of the road, but it's not quite into the threes. I'm gonna start getting a little bit stricter with this rating
So,
system.
so that's a kind of fun by me through our rating
It's a
system.
fun movie,
It
it's
is a fun
fun.
movie.
Good coming of age movie.
It's definitely a short 90-minute movie if you're looking
Yeah,
for something to watch and you want to laugh. It's it's a good movie. I think you can kind of share this with your teenage kids,
you could.
and
Yeah, yeah.
it sort of
It's not
continues to.
vulgar.
No, it's not. And it kind of holds up. I mean, if they're staring at the technology, like why do they not have an iPhone? That's about the only thing that really doesn't hold up. The rest of it still fits. Like I said, we're going through this college thing with my oldest son, so I kind of see the similarities there. I'm not far off from what you are. I'm gonna put it as a 3.1, which is
Oh,
mostly
okay.
fine by me. But that's only point
Yeah,
two
we're
from
right
what you
there.
are. We're right there together.
We're right there
Um,
around three.
which is where I thought it'd be. I don't think it rises up to the level of uh, I Love You Man, which we did,
Right.
but I also doesn't think don't think it's as bad as Idiocracy that we did. So I'll put it right there in the middle.
So a 2.9 and a 3.1.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
guess
pretty solid review. We need
pretty solid.
maybe soon we can get out a updated graphic of our ratings.
Yeah, I definitely need to do that.
Yeah, just
We'll
anytime.
put
I
that
just haven't
together,
think about
put
the
it.
other days because I've done forgot what I've done rated half. I've got them written down, but I've done
I
forgot
do
what I've
too.
rated half of these. They're gonna be like, dude, he's
So.
all over the place. He's inconsistent. So I got to make sure I stay on top of that. But
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with the viewers here. I go with my gut on these. I
yeah,
don't look at what they are beforehand. But
I
the
think
other
I'm gonna
ones we've
start
done,
trying to get me like an outline. I think I'm gonna go that way because
I got you.
if I go with my gut, dude, like I would be like, you know what, that movie sucks, and I wouldn't even give it a chance. You know what I mean? So I gotta like have some kind of curriculum
A
that I
curriculum. All
gotta go
right, I
by.
got you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of work on
A
that.
rubric for your voting system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna maybe make that
So
and show y'all how I'm kind of rating these too, maybe
nice.
like my criteria of what it needs to meet.
Yeah,
So.
that sounds good to me. Um, so I think that's it. Anything you want to cover? You
No,
want to?
we got some new fine on the Fine by Me side. We've got some new t-shirt designs we're working on, some sketches, some sponsorships, partnerships, Twisted Sister Nutrition. If you mention Fine by Me, then you can get $1 off your order, your beverage order, and that's in Franklin, Kentucky. We
Yeah,
mentioned this episode W.GG, mentioned Fine by Me. I think it's you get 10% off. I think that's
10%
right.
off. Fine by me. As a promo code, all one
Yeah.
word. Um,
Just be on the lookout for some new content coming out on our YouTube page from Real Fine by Me, and whatever else
yeah.
we're going to be having going on. And thank y'all for checking us out.
Thank y'all. Bye.